Welcome to the Grown Woman Podcast
with your host, Mariam and,
of course, Shakkiah.
Get ready for candid conversations, expert insights, and plenty of laughter along the way.
Of course.
Tune in and join our community of empowered women navigating life's journey with style and grace.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Grown Woman Podcast. Welcome. I feel like it's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
It's been a couple of weeks, although we just dropped an episode like last week.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're together all the time, but anytime I'm at the mic, it feels like it's brand new. But no, welcome. We are almost at the end of the year, 5 days before Christmas. You got Christmas shopping to do?
No,
I still have Christmas shopping to do. I'm normally done at this time of the year, but I felt like December came. December 1st was yesterday, and then today was like the 20th. So now I got to catch up on Christmas shopping. Are you excited for Christmas?
No. This year, this is the first year that my daughter isn't with me for Christmas. So for me, it's just going to be a regular day.
Yeah.
But
you're traveling on Christmas, no? The day after?
Yeah, the day of Christmas Eve. Yeah. I'm going to the cabin to spend a few days and relax and rest if I need it. For what's coming in 2025. And I wanted her to just have fun with her dad because since him and I separated, he has never spent Christmas with her. She's always with me for Christmas and New Year's. So this year I decided not to be selfish. And he asked me nicely to please let her stay with him.
He asked me nicely.
No, he always asked me nicely.
Yeah. So with my 14-year-old, we always share. Oh, okay. So normally he comes like Christmas, the evening of Christmas, and then she stays all the way to the top of the year because his birthday is New Year's Eve, actually. But yeah, so we normally do Christmas Eve, and then she normally does Christmas, like our Christmas meal with us. Christmas meal. He gets a Christmas night, and then she stays. But this year, Christmas is my favorite holiday. So like, no other holidays other than my birthday. Like,
okay,
my
Mariah
birthday and Christmas is my favorite. And I decorate the pink Christmas tree. Like I love Christmas. And I go overboard with it. So I'm excited, but I'm also excited to rest because after Sunday, it's like the last, like we'll have an event Saturday and then Sunday. I'm resting until January 1st.
My last event of the year was supposed to be
Saturday, but we had one yesterday.
I know.
But now you're officially off, and I have one more I'm on contract for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then we're getting some work done on Sunday for our upcoming event, and then we're resting.
I forgot.
But yeah, I'm super excited about our guest today, though. She's super amazing. One thing we are trying to do and will continue to do on the Grown Woman Podcast is bring in dope women, like everyday dope women doing dope things. And so I know when we think about this platform, there is not one type of woman, right? And not even just women, men, right? Yeah. We want our guests to be individuals that people can relate to. And so when we meet individuals doing amazing things, I'm like, we got to get them on the podcast. We got to get them on the show. We got to have a conversation.
Even at the event yesterday, like the men that we were talking to, like we have some dope male friends, colleagues that are just so
in our
dope
network
and supportive.
So I'm super excited of what's coming up for the new year. I think we got one more show dropping before New Year's. And then we're going to walk into 2025. So our next one, we're going to do like our New Year countdown with y'all and pretend it's New Year's. Do our New Year's resolutions. I don't technically do New Year's resolutions, but I do set intentions. So
mine, funny because we were talking about this earlier. Like I don't really do New Year's resolutions either, but I'm creating my word of the year is like intention. Like I want to be intentional about everything, my space, who I share my space with, my energy, the spaces I go into. Like there has to be, I can be everywhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I want to be intentional, even like with my relationships. So it's going to be a year of a lot of intention.
Yeah. I don't have my word yet. But one of the goals is slow mornings. Like I typically wake up, I do my 3 non-negotiables, but then my day is a go, go, go.
Yeah.
And now I want it to be slow mornings, nothing before 10 other than the gym.
Yeah.
And I'm walking that thing through.
Me too. It makes a big difference.
I want to be on my laptop, if I just want to read, like I don't want to deal with the world until after 10. So slow mornings. I want to go to bed on time in 2025.
Me too. Like 9.
Yeah, I want a boring yet exciting life, if that makes sense.
Now I understand when you say I like to eat good, because that's how I want to spend my time. Just
eat good, getting good sleep,
be around good people,
making money.
That part.
I mean, what else? What else is there to do?
Honestly, like,
love people, do what God tells you to do. Go to church.
I don't know if this is a bad thing, but like, I can't stop thinking about money. Like every space that I'm in, I'm like,
listen,
money, money, money.
Y'all see who's the yin and yang on this show, right? Every time we get on the mic, she introduces a new personality, and today it's money. Okay, she's learning. She's learning. But no, excited for our new guest for today. She's awesome. And I'm going to read her bio. So, Deanne Tharp is a certified birth doula trainer, certified foundations coach, and maternal and child health advocate. Her journey into birth work began in 2010 as a baby planner, sparking her commitment to improving maternal and infant health over the years. She has earned certifications as a child safety educator, birth doula, and a specialist. She is the founding and active member of the Reproductive Justice Society and sits on the state of Wisconsin Maternal Child Health Action Team and a member of Children's Hospital Wisconsin, Children's Advocacy Network. While birthing, institution, and wellness is what she does, she also does Women's Health and Wellness Center, which she founded in 2018. It closed due to the pandemic, but she has continued since then to dedicate to equipping future doulas with skills, training, and knowledge. So she's just doing amazing things. She has 2 beautiful daughters. And while fulfilling her passion, she has maintained a corporate American career for 25 years. This woman is doing a lot of things. Super dope. So I'm excited. This conversation is going to be dope. Stay tuned because here she comes. So excited. We just read that you did like 30,000 things that are super amazing. Oh, right? You. But I first want to start off with who you are outside of all the things that we read, right?
Okay.
Like, if someone was to say, what makes you, what would you answer with?
My purpose.
Oh, what is that?
My purpose is to serve families.
Okay.
It was given to me.
Okay.
So one of my famous quotes is, "This is not a job, it's a calling."
I love that.
So it is not a job, it is a calling. I like that. Mm-hmm. We like one-liners.
We need to start.
I know. Start keeping up with these. I like that. This is not a job, it's a calling. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
I know we just hopped into the conversation. She's pretending like she's shy, and she works with 1,000 people every single day. I can imagine what your schedule looks like. But tell us, give us the background. Like, how'd you get into your space?
Actually, it was unfortunate. One of my cousins had a full-term stillbirth.
Oh.
And during that time, when she looked at me and said, my family calls me Dee Dee, said, "Dee Dee, you have to help me." My aunt wasn't able to support her at the time because she was shooken up.
Okay.
Her husband wasn't able to. And for those that work in the medical field or just in general know that when you have a full-term stillbirth, you still have to deliver the baby.
And so was this in the home, at the hospital?
This was in the hospital.
Okay.
And so my brain was like, what happens to the people that don't have a Dee Dee in their life?
Yeah.
What does this look like for these other moms that are just here?
Yeah.
And you still have to deliver your deceased baby. And so that's how I started, just looking up different different avenues, different ways to help women. In my mind, I always thought I was going to be a pediatrician because I always loved kids, as you know. And so it just turned into more of the alternative health and wellness and doula work, and then the pipeline to midwifery.
And so for individuals who may not be familiar with what a doula is and the difference between like a midwife, a doctor, right? Because with both of my girls, I didn't have the knowledge or the understanding of I had those options. I could have had those choices if it was better for me. So if you can kind of just explain the work that you do and like the differences, just so we all know, right?
So first of all, another one-liner, doulas coach and midwives catch.
Doulas coach and midwives catch. And are you both?
I'm a doula and I'm a midwife in training. Okay, so doulas, we coach. I tell a lot of people we work from like the waist up, right? Affirmations, comfort measures, ensuring that the family unit is bonding and everybody is getting acclimated to the baby once we go through the postpartum phase. Midwives do all of the medical. Right, the cervical exams, dilation, effacement, making sure that mom and baby are healthy, the blood work, urine analysis.
So they're doing the work that a doctor would do.
Correct, but they're out of hospital. That's a certified professional midwife, and that's for people that don't have any complications, right? And then you have a CNM, which is like a certified nurse midwife, which is in hospital, and then you have your OB.
So what would make someone want to be a certified nurse midwife versus a midwife? Is it just the training or the...
It's the training. So the certified nurse midwife works in hospital and the certified professional midwife works out of hospital.
So what makes individuals decide, like, I want to only be able to do it at home or I want to be able to do it in the hospital?
Just their own personal preference.
Because some people like, like the water birth, like they set up a pool in their house and they give birth there.
I'm guessing like if I'm going to go and be a certified nurse midwife, I could just go and be a doctor, right?
Well, it's still more education. Yeah. It's the years of schooling.
Okay.
Yeah. Excuse me. So a CNM is already a nurse, right? And say 2, 3, 5, 10 years down the line, they're like, oh, I want to be a midwife. So then there's 2 more additional years of schooling compared to like the 4 to 7, depending if you want to be an OB and if you're going to be a surgeon with the obstetrician, gynecology, all of that good stuff.
So, because you say you work from the waist up. That's what
as a doula.
As a doula,
most of the time, yeah.
So after
so you do massages?
Yes.
It's the waist up. Listen, I'm just
She's
like,
are you preparing for something?
No, I just want to know.
If I need to start buying gifts and stuff for a baby, planning a baby shower.
Jesus understands what I need in my life right now. No, I'm just curious, right? Because I feel like I missed out on the opportunity.
Me too.
And I'm going to have another baby.
These, right? Because it sounds luxury to me.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah. I feel like I should have had somebody coaching me and giving me affirmation from the top up and then somebody catching me from the bottom down.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I didn't get none of that.
Yeah. Me neither. Welcome.
So, as a doula, 2 questions that come to mind for me. Do you give the mom support after birth and for how long? And as the part of the coaching that you do and making sure that the families are connected, do you coach the dad as well? Because men freak out.
Yes. So number 1, yes, we do postpartum. So let me explain. There's different types of doulas, different practices or scopes of work. So you have your birth doula, you have a postpartum doula, and you have abortion and companion doulas.
Wait,
you have
abortion and companion doulas. What does that mean?
So we assist women that are either terminating pregnancy or that have experienced a miscarriage.
And they would call a doula for an abortion.
Yeah, you need help with that. That's a mental. It's a whole mental.
I've never
thought of that. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to get into that because I don't want people coming for me. But that's huge.
It is. It's huge. Yeah. And then you have postpartum doulas. So for me, I am a birth doula. I train birth doulas. I've taken bereavement and abortion companion training as well. Postpartum is not my lane. That's not where I see myself. So at this point in time, I don't do postpartum care. I don't teach postpartum. doulaing. However, my doulas at Wisconsin Doulas, a Color Collective, we do 2 to 3 prenatal visits, the full labor delivery, and then at least 2 postpartum visits. That's up to 6 weeks. If the family needs more assistance after that, then we would call in a postpartum doula to assist from there.
Can you explain? So this is the center that you started, that you just
I'm
named.
a founding member and the director of Wisconsin Doulas.
So can you give us a little bit about how that started, what that is, and why is that amazing?
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to revert back to you really quick, though. Yes, we do coach the father or the partner as well during this process, because we know that they need help and they don't know much, and we don't want them to feel like we are coming in to step on their toes. Right. So my tricks of the trade, I teach dad or the partner.
So what does that look like for the man?
Well, I'm gonna
have another kid. I'm gonna have another kid.
So much information, and I'm so interested. No, to the point. Like I'm like, I want to redo my experience because I want.
No, but like
someone said no.
No. Listen,
I want to redo my experience.
Listen,
because I want this to be great. I want.
Did you have a natural birth?
Yes, for my second time.
So for me, it was very traumatic. Like I remember that the doctor that was supposed to deliver my baby went on vacations, and I knew I was going to be early. I was 2 weeks early. So another doctor came in, and then he was training nurses. They got into a fight while I was delivering my kid because they wouldn't give him the right tool that he needed to push her out because she won't come out. So he cut me when he wasn't supposed to cut me. I lost so much blood. Like I thought. It was very traumatic. So for the first 2 years, I was like, I don't want to have kids ever again. Like I went to postpartum depression, all of that, because it was just very traumatic for me, very traumatic. So
that's another huge part of what we do is advocate.
Yeah. And your voice is so soothing.
I know. I'm over here like, what do I need to do?
Because nurses are just like, push harder. You're not pushing harder.
The ring of fire. And I was like, what the hell is the ring of fire? It hurts. She's like, you got this. Just get through the ring of fire.
So for
it
me,
is fire.
You know, for me, Maggie, I'm a first-time mom, and this guy is getting into it with the nurses while I'm pushing my kid. Like, I'm dying right now. Dude, like, what is going on? So I'm definitely getting a midwife and a doula next time. So we're going to be talking.
Yes, I got you. I got
tons of questions. But we would like to know about
the center,
your center, and the training, and how you started and why you started.
So once again, going back to my cousin with the full-term stillbirth, I started out as a baby planner. From the baby planner, I found...
and what's a baby planner?
A baby planner is a person that helps families as far as the new gadgets.
Listen,
purchase
was this like a new, like...
Maybe it's just not coming in our
ever
culture.
Since I've known you, I've been doing all this.
No, but I'm saying, was this not available?
Because it wasn't available.
Because I feel like I should have had all of the baby people.
Yeah.
I should have had the whole game.
So baby planners I found are huge on like the East Coast and West Coast, right? Not really here in the Midwest, but the East and West Coast, yes, for sure.
I feel like that's like, the people that's like, oh, I got a YSL bag. Like, I got a baby planner, right?
Yeah, more so.
But I feel like at least like even midwives, I feel like when I think of I'm from the Dominican Republic. Like when I think of my grandma talking about when she gave birth, they always have somebody helping them through giving birth, like somebody there. And they had a ritual of like for 40 days, you can't do nothing. You have to wrap your head. Mm-hmm. You can't touch the floor. You can't they had somebody assisting them. It's just, it wasn't a fancy word. Like,
so that brings me to my other one-liner. We are reclaiming what was taken from us.
We are reclaiming what was taken from us.
Right?
We have so many good
I'm going to go back and watch this and write all of these down.
So no, honestly, going back to the 40 days and 40 nights, that's in the African culture as well, right? African women, you do not do anything for 40 days and 40 nights.
In Dominican, it's like that.
After you deliver your nothing.
You just lay.
You nurse the baby. You rest. Your mom, your sisters, your aunts.
Take care of you,
They take care of you and the baby.
And the purpose is to heal and to just...
So you can heal.
Yeah.
Because actually it takes about a full year for your body to recover from having a baby. That 6 weeks, I don't know where
that came from.
Conventional medicine got that from, but excuse me, it's a whole year, sorry. So, but YDoc on my journey through trying to find really what would fulfill me and who I was, I ran into a doula. So I started training as a doula about 11, 12 years ago. And I've gone through several different trainings. And then I met Marika Van Rogen at the time, who was the president of the Wisconsin Guild of Midwives. So midwives, they have a guild, they have a collective, and a body that they answer to. Right. And so I met her and she said, look, it's only you. And at the time it was Sabrina Folks Thomas, who was a doula. We were the only two that we knew of that were actively working as doulas and women of color.
Here, in the state of Wisconsin.
In southeastern Wisconsin, I'll say that. Okay. And with that being said, we wrote grants to get 20 more women of color trained. I co-wrote grants with the Wisconsin Guild of Midwives. And from that first grant and from that first training, that's how we formed the collective, Wisconsin Doulas of Color Collective. Sabrina now is the first African-American out-of-hospital midwife here in the state of Wisconsin. Wow. And I was supposed to be the second, but as you know, I still work in corporate America. So I wasn't fortunate to do that. So I kept the doula collective going, and we just celebrated 10 years, and thus far have trained over 50 women of color. That
is crazy that we we just got our first Black woman in that space. Yeah. How long ago?
Sabrina has been a midwife, I want to say maybe 8 years.
So why do you think, since we're in the same topic, right? Because I want to go back to the 40 days, 40 nights, because that was a big thing in Dominican Republic. I remember when I gave birth, it was summer and I came out of the hospital, in my pajamas, and my mom, when she saw me that I got home, she freaked out. She's like, you're supposed to have something in your hand. You're supposed to do this and that. I was driving 3 days after giving birth.
I was at the gym.
I didn't give myself.
I was.
And it's traumatic. Your body just went through a traumatic experience. Yes. So I told myself, when I have another baby, I'm going to do the 40 days, 40 nights.
Yes.
But why do you think, because you said your liner, we're going to, what was the liner?
The one-liner.
Reclaiming what was taken from us.
Why do you think that stopped the 40 days, 40 nights? Because again, I think of my grandma telling me stories.
I never even heard of that.
Rituals, even juices, teas that they used to make for women for those 40 days. It was a ritual, it was a thing that they needed to do. So why do you think that went away?
Well, it got lost, right? When we became enslaved and came over, a lot of our traditions and our rituals were lost. But we have minute, rituals and traditions that we still practice. My mom and aunts were like, girl, wrap your stomach. There's a whole belly wrapping thing.
In DR too, just like that.
No clue that I was supposed to wrap my stomach as soon as, right after I had the baby, right? Keeping something on your head and your feet at all times, to keep your body warm. We eat collard greens a lot, right? So eating collard greens, the pot liquor, to get that blood back because you just had a baby.
See so much things,
right? To build your iron back up, all of that good stuff, keeping a warm compress on your breast if you're nursing, keeping,
but I feel like we don't have big mamas anymore.
We don't.
Right? My granny, her mind is not even there. And I was 17 when I had my first child. And so I was so young, I don't even remember or understand where my mind was in that process. But even with my second child, my mom was just such a young mom that wasn't the focus. The focus was how do we continue to build, make money, pay pay the bills. None of that was even introduced as you come first, you take care of you. None of that was the option. It was all right, we got kids, now we got to get to it. Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's a huge part of the society that we live in, right? Yeah. And then we run into those social determinants of health where you have the moms that who can afford to take off 40 days and 40 nights, and then we get biblical with that too, right? Yeah. So that's where a lot of that comes from. But when you have people in the community where if you ain't back to work in 2 weeks, your lights might get cut off. Yeah. You don't have the money to pay the rent. The baby daddy may not be supporting you, or maybe he is supporting you, but the two of y'all together are just making ends meet. Yeah. We have all of those issues that just build. It's a cascade.
And for me, mine was very superficial. I gained so much weight. I personally couldn't deal with me. I was in the gym literally 3 days after I got home. And I remember because I started hemorrhaging. And it put me back in the hospital because I was on the treadmill, passed out. And it was those type of things of like I didn't understand. Like the body goes through changes. This is normal. This is that. I don't even believe there was education even offered to me before I left the hospital around like you taking care of your baby.
Yeah,
like even my checkups, it was all like, is the baby okay? Like I don't remember anything about like, are you okay? Until when I did go in hemorrhaging, they're like, what? You were doing what? And I'm like, well, how was I supposed to know I wasn't supposed to work out? Like, so that is, I don't know. I didn't know I was going to be in my chest and in my feels about my birthing experiences.
It shapes you, like like I said when I gave birth.
I want to do over, but I don't want to keep it. What? Say that. That's not what I meant.
No,
you can carry somebody. You can
be
a surrogate.
A surrogate.
It's like
no, because when the baby come out, and if I want to keep the baby,
it's not yours.
That's me.
It's not yours.
Listen, we gonna share. She get the baby on the weekends, and I get the baby Monday through Friday.
No, you are doing them a favor because they can't carry it. So some people will be willing to still allow you to be the other mother.
I'm not the other. If I birth the baby,
I am
the other mother.
They may be using her
eggs.
I'm not allowing somebody's eggs to go into me.
We're giving you options here because you say we're giving you solutions, girl.
I'm pretty sure I still have eggs.
So do you have any?
Oh, thank you.
You're just slower ovulating right now.
Do you have any like? Because Dr. Curtis.
Did you hear what she said?
What did you say?
I'm just slowly.
You're ovulating, but you don't have as many eggs as you did between like 18 and 25.
But I still have eggs.
You do. You have them.
Thank you. You can still get pregnant up to like 50 or something.
Yeah.
And I'm far from that.
If Janet Jackson did it, hey, I want to carry a baby soon. So maybe you gotta. Now
next question.
Now you have
because I'm nervous.
Now you have support.
No. So this is my question though. With these services and the things that you offer, how do one? Is this covered through medical?
Yeah.
Is this out of pocket? Is this like a very luxury service? Like how? Yeah.
So number one, no, it's not covered by.
Oh, it's not covered by.
Not even the midwife.
The midwives just became covered through Badger Care maybe 7 years or so ago. But prior to that, no. So all of our services are out of pocket and or like I do, I write grants.
Okay.
Right? Because now the government has started to see with the infant and maternal death rate so high amongst women of color, the Black and brown women, that doulas do. We were just announced about 3-4 years ago that doulas are an intricate part of the medical team. So now we're not seen as a visitor when we go into the hospital. We're seen on the same level as the medical staff because we help with the infant and maternal death rates, and we help with lower cesarean rates. We help lower pain medication rates. We help lower postpartum depression or postpartum disorders. Moods is what it's called in the beginning before the depression sets in.
It sounds like healthcare would be upset with that though, because it takes away from them being able to prescribe and all of those things.
Well, honestly, doctors, we have found now that they understand who we are and what part that we play. They welcome us. Why? Because they don't have to keep coming in the room to check on you. Right? They know that you have care 24/7. The nurse is like, you have a doula? High five. I just come do my charting about every 2 to 3 hours, check on you, see where you're at.
Wow.
See,
this is such a world that I didn't know anything. Like I hear about it, and now like you see the trends on social media, but to know the intricate details. Curious, you said something about the maternal death rates. What is the number one like that?
The reason
the reason that they're so high. What would you say?
So it is. We don't have a definitive answer on that, But Black and brown women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die within the first year after giving birth, and the same for infants, for Black infants.
There's no reason.
So it's just I forgot the proper term for it, but it's a after pregnancy cause. And I'm not a part of that, but medicine cannot give a definitive answer on what exactly is causing it. It's some type of episode after pregnancy. So whether if it's a blood clot, if it's hemorrhaging, and then of course we do have suicide rates as well because of the postpartum depression that's not caught in enough time, and moms end up committing suicide as well. Wow. So all of those stats is what's bringing the federal government and governments now to look at doulas and say, oh, yeah, we do need to start working with you. We do need you in hospitals. We do need you to help. But prior to this, we already, as you said, had help, right? Just we didn't have a name for what our grandmas and our aunts and cousins were doing. They weren't called doulas. It was, oh, you having a baby? Well, we know Dee Dee loves babies. Dee Dee is always there to help. She know how to cook. She gonna make sure you good after you had a baby. We have around the clock care. We got kids coming from 2 to 5. Auntie Sue will be there from 5 to 10.
It was the village.
Like that village, that consistent support, and that's what we're missing.
Yeah. So, do you guys have, or do you have any sorts of? Because you always say data is king, of 10 years ago, right? Like midwife,
the differences,
the difference between back then, the numbers as far as how many Black and brown women are now midwives and doulas, and 2, the rate of the women that are now utilizing doulas instead of the doctor. Like,
so I don't have an exact number on how many. We have seen a spike, of course, in doulas and midwives since it has become more popular, right? And then we have those that definitely do not belong in the space. So it's trying to weed out those people that are just here for dollars, right?
Trends.
And that are not here because it's a calling and it's a purpose for them. But we are seeing a spike in the number of people that are becoming midwives and doulas, and more people that are utilizing midwives and doulas. The issue is if you have a pre-existing condition.
Oh, okay.
Right. So if you have a pre-existing condition and you don't have a normal pregnancy, or if you're having multiples, like if you're having twins or triplets or something like that, it's really, medicine doesn't suggest that you have a midwife or a home birth or a birth center birth if you're having. But that's up to you as the person to say, look, this is what I want to do. I want to try until I can't try anymore, and then transfer to a hospital if need be.
This saying, when you were speaking, I remember my grandma used to say, women are closest to death when they're having a baby. And I didn't understand that until you just explained, right? Like the maternal, because she used to always say that, of like, it's so serious. And I'm like, why is she, anytime you talk about somebody's pregnant, and she'd be like, well, she better be careful because a woman is always closest to death when she's birthing a baby. And hearing you talk about like just the maternal, the death rates and different things, and what happens up to a year after that. 2 kids, and I've never been educated on that.
And you guys take us for granted. Okay? Watch this episode like 5 times. The man.
I just don't get nobody prego if you ain't ready.
So I want to take a step back because you said something important earlier, and I when we were talking, I asked you, what does it look like to give support to the man? Because I feel like the men get traumatized too, like watching what happens there. Yeah. Like so men. Have you watched this video?
By seeing the vagina?
Seeing the way the vagina opens.
What is the trauma? No, I'm not being funny. I'm asking. In your experience, what is the trauma?
What he once knew, it's no longer looking like that.
Well, he's the reason it happened.
Well, that would be what you need to explain to him. But during that time, he is not fully, unless, a lot of men do attend childbirth ed. And I have in one of my slides, I teach childbirth ed as well. I have what's called the Great Wall of Vaginas, right?
Great Wall of Vaginas.
Yes, because they all don't look the same.
So on the wall is just is it like 3D pictures?
Are you uncomfortable?
Soon it's gonna.
Is it 3D? Like
it's not 3D, but it's just different. It's about 30 different,
like different colors, sizes.
It's just the size, the shape, all of that stuff.
Do the shapes have different names?
No, we don't have different names.
That question,
but
curious.
But you know, like
everybody else.
No, you're asking a question, but like you gotta think of. I'm sorry, the man here in the room. But when a man gets a cold, they're dying for a little cold. It might this or periods, giving birth is natural to us, but for them it's a big deal because they're. I'm sorry, they're a little babies.
No, that's interesting. The wall of vaginas.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so you show them this.
You show them that they all don't look the same. You explain to him how the vagina is going to open, right? And how the baby will come down through the pelvis and all that good stuff. And show the great ring of fire. What I find a lot of times is because men are protectors. His number one thing is when he sees you in pain, you get her out of pain.
I was just thinking that. Thinking that.
Because his job as a protector is no, I don't need her in pain. And especially if it's a mom that's very vocal during labor, right? And he's like, oh my God, fix her, fix it. Like, I don't want to see this.
They get stressed out. Right?
Yeah, he gets stressed out. But in the prenatal visits that we do at home, this is why you incorporate the partner or the husband and say, look, her body was created for this. I need you to work with me. As long as we're calm, she's going to be calm. And so the comfort measures that we do on the pregnant person, I teach dad as well.
That's so important.
That is so good.
Future babe, you already know. Take notes.
Y'all getting a doula.
We are.
Yes. So you have to make sure. And this is the thing, right? Mom, at the prenatal visit, you're getting to know her. She's getting to know you, your touch. She already knows his touch. So why not use him?
Oh, you over here educating.
That's interesting.
And then save my back, my energy for like when it's go time, when I really need to get in there. But otherwise, go ahead, bro, handle that.
That is so good. Ooh, I'm over here like, I want to ask so many questions about this wall of vaginas. But does the baby come? Do you have a head that comes through it?
Come through what, baby?
The vaginas, or no?
To show like the.
I mean, I have slides that shows like the different stations, and the effacement and what the cervix looks like.
Have you had any instances where the man passed out or he throws out because he's seeing all of these things?
I had one. I had one. Well, it was me and the nurse. We had to catch him. Mom was already in the bed, but I had one where Dad got real. It was not a good situation. Yeah, unfortunately.
How many babies do you think you've assisted in, or moms you've assisted in with their births?
I stopped counting at over 70.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And how do you feel every time? Is it a new feeling every time?
So now I'm the OG. I don't do it anymore.
Okay.
I teach. Okay. I train because my back.
Yeah.
What we want.
Don't hold up.
You saying we? You the one talking about a future. Listen, I'm here to support, but she's saying we. I would have loved to have had you, but
when I say stuff that happened. You need to have a voice. You need to have a little voice.
I'm not receiving this. If you can continue.
So yeah, I've had one where the nurse and I had to catch him, and he went out and got some water and got himself together, and he came on back in, and we had a little conversation, and just had Dad focus from the waist up, and it's okay. You have to tell people it's okay, even moms. If you decide to go natural, and you get to 5 centimeters or so, and you're like, look, I can't take this. These contractions are kicking my butt. I usually use a safe word with my clients. So you can tell me the first time, like, Deanna, no, I need an epidural. I need something, right? I like to start off with the least invasive pain medication before we go to the epidural, because we know the side effects that the epidural has, not only on mom, but baby as well, right? So let's start, with some pain meds, just a little something to take the edge off, or let's change your position, right? Dad, I need you to stay focused from the waist up if you're kind of queasy and you can't handle this. And that's how we just continue to work through it. And I'm talking to dad and mom at the same time.
Yeah, I remember at 17, I had an epidural. I still have back issues. And then with my second child, natural, I wanted medicine, but it was too late.
Oh, so you had to.
And so I had to go natural. And I think that was the birth control that I needed. I didn't have any more after that. But I remember that being the worst. Like, I've never felt pain like that. Like, I felt like my body,
and you never forget that.
I felt like my body was being ripped apart.
Me too.
It was so sensational. I just remember like crying, throwing up. Like, it was many things happening to me at one time. I was just like, this is not real.
For how long were you in labor?
With Ashlyn, I think altogether it was 7 hours of like total.
Yeah.
But by the time it got to the point where I couldn't handle it, I was already dilated. And they were like, nope, we got to go. And I was like, oh, no. No, you got to give me something. And now I just remember that nurse being like, I'm going to be with you. And she explained every step of the way. And I remember just going crazy. Like, when we got to that ring of fire and she was like, push through, I lost it. I was like, I don't care about none of this anymore. Don't tell me nothing else. Get this baby out. But like, my pelvic bone still hurts. And she's 14, and I still I feel like contractions sometimes of like,
that's crazy.
When she was sitting on my pelvic bone, like I'll still have those like memories, those muscle memories.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
I'm like,
have you gone to a chiropractor?
No.
Maybe it needs to be adjusted.
Adjusted.
You might. My chiropractor and I have a great relationship. Yeah. He puts me back together.
Yeah,
I go in there like, I'm broke.
Yeah.
Get me back together. So, chiropractic care. I like chiropractic care. Okay. There are some conventional medicine doctors that thinks that it's just a hoax. It's a temporary fix, but he fixes me. So, yeah, you may just need to get put back into alignment.
Yeah, that was a lot. Oh.
So, do you guys? I have some questions.
I was getting ready to wrap up.
Wait,
no. Well, she's actively like. I'm not going to say she's actively trying.
I'm not trying, baby.
But she does want
actively try. Ain't nobody trying anything
she
here.
She wants one.
I want one.
Her interest.
Yeah.
Excitement.
Yeah, like because I want my experience to be different the next time. When my daughter came out, I didn't get to carry her because I passed out.
Me too.
I passed out.
I didn't see my baby.
So because of the position that she came out of, her and I don't have the same blood type, so she swallowed some of my blood coming out. So they had to rush her to cleanse her. I don't know, whatever they did. So I didn't get to carry her right away. So like that bonding moment, I didn't get to have. Yeah. Like I wanted to breastfeed and I couldn't because they gave her a bottle right away. Although I told them not to give her a bottle right away. So there was just so many discrepancies, so many. Yes. Right. That's probably why I think I had postpartum depression for 2 years because it's like I didn't get to like after she was out of me, I'm like, what is this little thing? Like I didn't get to
the bond,
and then he didn't understand because it's like you wanted like we planned this baby, we wanted to have her like why like he couldn't, and I was just crying every day, and my mom didn't understand why I was feeling like that. He couldn't understand, so I didn't have the emotional support that I needed from my family because they're like. This is how it's supposed to go. You have a baby and then, you're happy forever. And it was very hard. Very hard. So I don't want to have that experience again. So midwife, doula, whatever.
Yeah.
Future babe, get the pocket ready.
Get the pocket ready. You're coming right in as a babysitter. Right
so
in.
Talking about pocket, what is the price range if that's not covered by insurance?
So we do what's called a sliding scale fee. To assist those that are truly in need of doula care. Right now, just to be blatant, my doulas make about $1,700 per birth.
Okay.
So
that's not bad at all.
That's I'm on the high end.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm on the high end, the good paying end. Wow, some doulas back in the day, it was like $600, $500. Like you were
to do all of that work.
And you asked this for how many weeks?
Yeah.
Just
from the beginning, from
from
conception. Like when you find out that you're pregnant, you call a doula. Yeah,
that's not bad at all. I thought it was like more.
Yes, this is the thing though. All of my doulas have their own business, so they're a part of YDOC, but they're contracted. So they have sliding scales for their businesses as well. That's what I pay them based off of a grant, off of grant dollars. However, if they're individual business, they could charge more or less depending on the family that they serve.
Wow. So, what would you say if you had to choose three things, three gems to give to women who are either in the space or thinking about it, just based off your experience, right? We've been having this conversation. What would be those gems of this is why this is important, this is why I would advocate for it, this is the benefit for you to look into the space that you're
in? My number one is intuition. Trust your intuition. I always say for believers, is the God in you. Listen to that voice. It will never steer you wrong. The second one is educate yourself. The more you know, the better off you are. And my other word is advocacy. Advocate for yourself. Know that you have the right to change providers. If you're not comfortable with that doctor, that midwife, or even that doula, right? Switch. Because this is your birth, your experience. And we need to ensure that you're having the best birth experience possible and that you'll be here to tell about it a year from now.
Jeez. I'm in my feels.
Same thing.
I'm in my feels. Like, oh my goodness. I feel that I think my experience would have been so much greater if I would have had that. If I would have had someone like you. And I'm not planning on having babies, but I'm going to say, go get you a doula, a midwife, and all that comes with it.
Yeah. And how can people contact you or moms to be if they want to?
We are at ydoc.org and WI Doulas of Color at Gmail. Our phone number is 262-899-9245. And just Wisconsin Doulas of Color Collective. We're on Instagram and Facebook.
And now my last question, we're going to ease up off all the hardcore stuff, right? Tell us something about you outside of this. What do you do? What do you do for fun other than helping people have babies and live their best lives?
I love to travel.
What's the last place you've been?
I was just down in New Orleans for the Bayou Classic over Thanksgiving. That was my first HBCU experience.
What?
I know.
You missed out on life.
I did. I'm sorry. It was ball. I had a ball.
You missed out on so many years of great life.
All of my cousins.
I'm an HBC graduate.
I know.
Listen. I won't say too much. Just know I lived and enjoyed life.
We know.
I don't like that we know. I don't like that we know. Well, I am grateful of you allowing us to share the things that you do, for even educating us on this platform for those that are going to listen. And I pray and hope that you guys triple what you're doing.
I receive it.
Because it is, listen, I could just see the 17-year-old me, like how that would have been different. The 24 young adult me, how that would have been different. And the 40-year-old me who's not there, but just the education and the comfort, right? So you're doing the Lord's work.
Thank you.
Shondo Shebe Bay. My shana nice. Listen, I'm feeling that. What? Anything else?
No, just thank you. We really, really appreciate you coming here. And
thank you for having me.
It was a great conversation. And I still have so many questions.
Over here spitting one-liners and giving game, and I'm over here like the wise woman is talking.
You are hilarious. Thank you.
But no, make sure you share, you like, you subscribe. This was an amazing one. Share it with another woman. Share it with another man. Mm-hmm. We all need to be educated in this space. But until the next time, this is the Grown Woman Podcast. Bye.